This is for my friend Daniel. Daniel wanted to learn how to play one of my songs so that he could play it at a future show. So I thought, why not just make a public video instead of just doing a quick unlisted video and just give more content to the fucking channel? Everyone sound off in the comments about how much you love Daniel, even if you don't know who the fuck Daniel is. This is Daniel. Say hi to Daniel. So this is for my song called This Is Not a Suicide Note. You said it looked easy. There's more simplistic songs than this one, but I could teach other ones in the future. Sound off if you want to know any other junkie songs in the comments. Give you the quick rundown of it without theory talk, and then I'll get into the theory side of it if you fucking care. So you'll be on the 8th fret on the D string starting off, and then you will go down to the 7th fret on the A string. So you'll kind of do this Oompa Loompa just a few times, and then you go down to the 6th fret of the G string, so 8th fret on the D string, down to the 6th fret on the D string, and then do a little walk up from the 7th to the 8th, and then you're back into that Oompa Loompa. But if you want it a little faster. That's how you play the verse. You get to that one part in the verse where it says, just me, 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 me. Then you play this little thing where you're on the 7th fret of the A string and then the 8th fret of the D string played together. You let that ring out. And then you deliver the line that's in between, and then you go right down here to the chorus where you're just doing power chords, where it played a little slower. I'd have to speed it up just so I can play it correctly. The power chord is not played like a standard power chord of the shape. It's just the bottom part where it's, you just bar the 12th fret on the D and G string. And then you go down to the 10th fret of both of those strings. Then you go down to the 9th fret, then to the 10th, then back to the 9th, then to the 7th, and then back to the 9th. And then it played at speed, sounds like. You do a step up from the 9th to the 10th fret, and then back down, and then you play the E power chord on the 7th fret of the A string, 9th fret D, 9th fret G, open E. And how that kind of goes together is then back down, and then take a shower, might feel better, wash off the sadness, dwell in the madness. And then that's the bridge. And it's basically a repeat of the beginning, the Oompa Loompa. Now it's time for the boring section. Okay, so in music theory, basically, you have these mode shapes, right? And it goes from Ionian to Dorian to Phrygian to Lydian to Mixolydian to Aeolian and then Locrian. And then, of course, you go right fucking back to Ionian because you're at the 8th, which is technically the octave. So technically speaking, there's only really 7 notes that make up scales. And then in these mode shapes, it goes from different types of keys to major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. And for this key, I played it in Lydian, which makes it what? Fucking major. And I didn't play it in standard to C, where it would correlate that it would be F. I knocked it down a half step to E. And when you knock something down a half step, that means you go down one fucking fret. So that's what I fucking did. We're on the 7th fret, going to the 9th fret. So technically speaking, I played this in the key of E major. And then you may be asking yourself, MJ, what notes of this fuck-ass scale did you actually end up using? Good question. So we kind of do that Oompa Loompa thing from A sharp to E to A sharp to E. And then you do the little walkie. C sharp, A sharp, G sharp. And then you do this thing. It's so fucking cool that they do it in music and they call it adding a blue note. Now, this is using it very incorrectly, but it's just making it a chromatic thing. Which, what is chromatic? Chromatic is where notes just kind of follow into that ba 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 order where it's like E to fucking F to F sharp. That's chromatic because they're back to back to back. You kind of do that chromatic walk up from G sharp to A sharp, and then you're back into the and then you do this thing, that's me, and then you play these two fucking notes together. Now, here's the beautiful thing that I'm gonna teach you. I have no room left on this fucking board, but I don't want to erase any of it. Okay, now, you have these things called triads. What's a triad? Is normally the first, the third, and the fifth of whatever fucking scale you're using. And normally it is major or minor. But then there's a diminished, and it exists. Where in a major scale, it's pulled from the major triad of the boom to the boom to the boom. But then you have your minor triad, which basically you just flat the third by a half step. Now, what does that mean again? You go down one fuck-ass fret. So, instead of it looking like this, it looks like this. And then you have this thing called a diminished scale, which, again, a fucking rarity in the fucking pattern that we have going. But you just flatten the third and the fifth for diminished. And that's what this is, where I call it a diminished power chord because it is literally just the first in the flat five. Following good because I don't give a fuck. Smile. Now, you remember that power chord thing that I fucking told you about? Where it's literally the root? And here's where the magic happens. In that fuck-ass major scale, which is just fucking, I erased it, Ionian mode, take the first, the fifth, and the octave, and then you have this thing called a power chord. But instead of playing it with that root, I literally just fucking play the octave and the fifth every time I play a power chord, just about. And then this is how I play the chorus, where it's literally... You get the idea. And then you end it with that fucking step up and then back down to the E major thing with the open E string. Then you go right back to here, baby. At the end of the song, you just kind of ring out the power chord. But I hope this has been very insightful. I don't know how to teach. That's why I dropped out of college.
It's just, it happened.